I was wondering, do you want it colder or what?
I'm fine. Do you want me to cool it down for you?
No, it's feeling good, but I'm talking about to take the perm out.
For you?
No, it's good.
Years the regime and its Kingmaker. It is interesting, though, isn't it? I mean, that so few would even know that the Biden administration, they saw the video. Humbly I tell you, in Jesus' name, video that I captured that was appointed for me to capture by what? Who? God, Yahweh, the God and Father of the Lord Jesus Christ, Yeshua, appointed for me to capture and release immediately, and to reach out then to every authority from local, state, all the way up to, the administration, federal authorities, state authorities, everybody. I shared that irrefutable evidence of the criminality of what was done with Governor Shapiro and everyone in the Biden administration. The senators and congressmen here in Pennsylvania, and so many people. I wasn't paying attention. I hadn't. Didn't get to share everything in that with you, sir. But it is amazing how Joe Rogan, was given that privilege, honored to be the kingmaker. And, the Biden administration, when they saw the video that was captured of that massive fallout that was hidden from thousands of people here in Western Pennsylvania, who were intentionally left oblivious, never given a chance to even shelter in place to mitigate the contamination. I mean, it was all done so that those multi-billion-dollar corporations wouldn't have to pay for what was a multi-billion-dollar disaster here in Pennsylvania, not East Palestine, Ohio. But it is interesting, isn't it? They saw the video, the Biden administration, and what did they do? They defied those corporations. They didn't come out like in a massive press release and excoriated all like that, but they did come out. We know when they said they said in through the EPA and who else? I mean, they're through the news that they were like, in Darlington Township, we see you, we hear you, meaning you're speaking directly to me. I captured a video of the massive contamination here. I was like, wow. But they did defy those corporations by even admitting we've seen the evidence. Because Norfolk Southern was doing their best and has done their best to position it all in East Palestine, never mentioning Pennsylvania. And it happened on the Pennsylvania border with all the winds blowing all of it for 3 days into Pennsylvania, onto Pennsylvanians. It's the truth. But you see, when the Biden administration, when they came out and did that, acknowledged that the disaster was in Pennsylvania, they defied them. I mean, that was kind of like a defiance that those corporations, they were like, we're not going to fucking go with the Biden administration. If that's how they're going to fucking be, because they had invested that Norfolk Southern and those multi-billion-dollar corporations that committed those fucking crimes, contaminating thousands of people here in PA, and the corruption, how they corrupted so many people to be complicit in their crimes of burning that shit off illegally and hiding it. I mean, they were like, fuck it, we don't want to go with Biden. We'll go with Trump. That's what happened. That's what happened. And I know if I were speaking directly to you, Mr. President, you know that is exactly what happened. J.D. Vance was not your friend, your buddy. J.D. Vance, where was he ever on a list of anyone you would consider for your vice president? Mr. President, honestly, where was J.D. Vance, who had publicly, said things, that you'd only say the things that he said if you were even an enemy. I mean, like they were like those kind of the things that he said about you. I would say that you'd never had him on a list of people that you'd consider to be your vice president, sir. So those multi-billion-dollar corporations, because of J.D. Vance showing himself to be, so plastic, meaning bending, twisting, corrupt, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? By him going over there, going out of his way to put his foot down in the stream in East Palestine, where there's a chance that there might have been some contamination in some water over there, because firemen were told to not put out the fire. So whenever you've seen those water cannons going with the news media using the firemen as props, to make it look like the fires were out of control and shit, there might have been inadvertently, some contamination. Whatever chemicals fucking were, they're pouring down from what was not burning. You know what I mean? To the west of the derailment. But J.D. Vance, man, he went over there and put his foot down in that puddle, to put attention on East Palestine. And he was showing those multi-billion-dollar corporations, waving his hand, saying, here I am, man. I'm not just going to tell you that I'll do what you need me to do. I'll do it. Look at me. Hello. But that's the truth. That's why J.D. Vance is vice president. I know that, Mr. President. And what? If you hear me, you're like, yeah, okay, right? And I'm not saying that in some kind of way like, look, here I am. Here I am. There's a chance that you actually are listening to this. Do you know, I'm not saying it like, oh, I'm so high and mighty that what? So, like, yeah, what? I understand. It's, that's the way things are done this way. Look, it's not without reason that we're told that the whole world is in the hands of the wicked one. That like decisions are made. It's not like out of righteousness, out of the best intentions, are they? Right? But wow, that's why he's seated where he is, a heartbeat away. It is amazing, isn't it? That all of this was those decisions that were made, sir, for you to be the president, you to be this administration, is only there because of these factors that came out of this illegal burn-off and hiding of this massive contamination, all this criminality, this insidious crime against our own citizens. That's how, and I'm not saying you had anything to do with that. You didn't. But that's how your administration was seated, sir, on that. I'm just saying it's true. But you know, when you think about that, then you know, when I say the whole world is in the hands of the wicked one, sir, do you understand what I mean? That doesn't mean that you can't do, you know, godly things, that you could be aligned then if you will yourself to do those things that are pleasing in God's sight, that you could be used as a vessel of honor in Christ, you know, something that would be talked about for eternity. You have that opportunity, as I have said so many times in this thread, so many hours. You have that opportunity, and in Jesus' name, I expressed ways that you could do that, sir. And I was anointed. I was anointed of the Spirit of the truth when I said those things, sir. It's all real. Everything going on here, it's real. It's so real, sir. So, you know, it's amazing, though, when you think about it. Here I am, and, you know, I was surveilled, you know, monitored so that I couldn't share the truths of the whole matter, right? So what did I do? You know, and I was transparent about it all. I mean, so transparent. You know, and I was being monitored by how many different agencies. And then I even reach out to, even if there was anyone that I missed that, you know, maybe hadn't any knowledge of what was going on, so that they know. Everyone that I could think of. Like, okay, here's the story. Here I am. I'm a disabled veteran. I'm a non-entity. I did, you know, talking about the capture of what it was, talking about being surveilled. Hey, look, you know, I'm a 2-branch veteran. Here's what was done to me in service. Since you have already, you know, done a thorough background check and everything to me, why don't you help me in-house here with this matter of what was done to me when I was in service to our nation, what it was that was done to me. I said, why can't I ask you then help me to get a fair and just result out of that? You know, you're not willing to do the right thing for whatever reasons. So I give you an opportunity. Hey, what about this? Can you help me with this? In truth, you see? If I were to observe, you know, I have a choice, as everyone does. Today is the Sabbath. Today, I do my best to keep every day holy. But you know, there is a Sabbath for God's people. If you want to, if you will to observe it, it's today. It's according to the cycles of the moon. God has instituted what the Sabbath is, what the those Sabbaths are. But again, you know, I ask for a fair and just result. No, Norsiva, come here. Come here, just for a moment. It's hard to get her to... It's not, you know, you're all right with me asking for a fair and just result, aren't you?
Of course I am.
Yeah. Well. So, if you'd expedite that for me, I would really appreciate it. I mean, I could then have the autonomy to choose the surgeon. You know, I need surgeries done on the reconstructive, you know, dental work, and I need this hip replacement surgery. Probably both the hips, you know, but I need the one on the left side, the worst right now, man. It's got me really crippled up, seriously bad. You know, but I will need amenities, facility, you know what I mean, going forward. And that compensation from the date of discharge, you know, that would really help. And the retirement status, you know, I don't want to feel like, oh, you know, I'm fighting for these disabilities. You know what? I don't want to have to do that. and define myself. That's my definition. Please, retirement status over 23 years of service, because I know that I would have done really well in the service. I would have touched the ceiling of where I could have gone, and when I retired, I would have gone on and worked in the civilian realm, for the government with a high pay, as a GS. I know that. Come on, man. I know that. So my asking for what I have it's not unreasonable. It's not touching upon any of that. And I would have been able to have my 2 spinal fusions, early on, which would have meant that I wouldn't have had inveterate problems as I've had, because I had to wait so long. That it made things challenging. You know what I mean? With the fusions, there being scar tissue on the thecal sac. What encases our spinal cord. From to protect it. That scar tissue built up that led to inveterate problems. That's what my surgeon told me. I waited a long time, man. I went to the limit of where I could go, waiting. To the point where it's either, I was done. Surgery was the only option that had to be done. So this hip surgery, I'm sure that you don't know anyone that has had to wait 8 years needing hip replacement surgery. And I am, a veteran who served honorably with distinction. I'm a 2-branch veteran, and I that should be a modicum of honor that you would give me, even by what I've asked for a fair and just result. That's a modicum of what should be done, please.
Are you allowing me to turn this on?
Yeah, you do what you want.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because I want to make some chicken today. I'll keep it on 350.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run to the store. You going to run to the store, maybe you'll feel like it?
No.
Okay, I'm going to run on, because I'm going to get some breakfast. You sexy man, you. Leaving Mecos.
How long did it take you to clean that fridge out?
I've been cleaning out every day. You didn't notice that, huh? Been cleaning a little bit, throwing away all that stuff that wasn't no good in here. Wait a little bit at a time. I believe it's 3 o'clock already.
I know.
Where did the time go?
Out the window.
Yeah. I gotta run to the store. Yeah, let's see what this is. Talk about thunder and lightning. Because that's where I want you to take me.
What?
I want you to take me. Run me to the store.
And if I do?
You be a nice husband. Oh, how great it would be.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. I'm not changing. I'll just put a coat on. I can't stand all these lights. I must have been a dark baby. I can't stand all these lights.